everyone, PC Casual Gaming Dad here, and yesterday Asmongold released his reaction to Amazon's cash shop on their new upcoming MMO, the New World, and I saw that and I was really busy, so I didn't have the time to watch and to react to it, so I'm going to be doing that. Before I do that, I want to get into this really quick because I saw this update and I feel it's very relevant and important to go over. But Blizzard lowered their classic cloning service price down to $15 from $35. Salutations, WoW Classic players. We'd like to inform you about a course correction we're making. When you log into WoW Classic after the patch next week, each of your Classic characters will choose between staying in Classic Era, version 1.13, and progressing to Burning Crusade Classic, version 2.5. For those who want to play a character in both versions, we're offering a service to purchase a character clone in the other version of the game. Yada, 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 yada. Yeah, we got that. This service, providing a player with a second copy of a character in a different game, is new for us. Our original concept of the value of this service was largely based on how we price other optional items and services. Yes, we know that you're overpriced as hell in those things. We want players to yada yada, justifying their backpedaling, which is fine. However, over the last week or so, we've gotten a very large amount of feedback from the community, and we decided to lower the price. A lower price will likely still accomplish our goals with the new service, while allowing many more players to explore the option of being on both types of realms. So this is great news for anyone, really, who wants to do that, want to have that option. I didn't play Classic. I'm going to be boosting personally, so it doesn't affect me, but I know it affects a lot of people. 35 versus 15 is ginormous. That means you can do, on average, more than 2 character clones as opposed to simply 1. So 15 bucks, WoW Classic 2. This is wrong. This should say $15, euros 12. You see the lower price when it comes available next week. So what does this mean? Well, it means that, we did it. You know, that means the community matters. That Blizzard, there's someone there who's listening. There's somebody. Okay, and I don't know what this means long term. If we're going to see more of this type of behavior from Blizzard, a part of me is still a bit upset that they had to make this mistake in a way. They had to get this tremendous negative response, you know, from the community and whatnot to make this change. You know, like, why don't they do some more research? Why don't they ask people? You know, like, and I mean, I know that we did. There was a survey they went out, so I just don't understand how they got it so wrong. Okay, look, I get it. They should charge some money for it because they're cloning a character and putting on a server, so that makes sense. But it shouldn't have been $35. That's outrageous. I was thinking like 10, 15, so 15, okay. That's fine. 15's still on the higher end of that range, but it's still in that range. This is acceptable. This is fine, Blizzard. Now, next time, don't fuck up again. Excuse my language. Like, just enough, okay? Learn from your mistakes. What's the point of making mistakes if you don't learn from them? So anyways, I just wanted to cover that really quick. That's good news. I'm just happy for people who want to take advantage of this service. That's good for them, you know, because that adds up a lot. Or maybe you just want to move one character. Now you can afford, you know, that's another $20 you save. You can afford a month to play. Right, okay. So I'm going to move back here, though, because I'm really curious about Asmongold's reaction to, well, I'm just curious about the potential pay to win, the cash shop, and we'll see.
Massive cash shop, red flags in New World. And this just came out today.
Here we go.
It's not good.
Oh man, he's gonna be pissed.
Website, saw that
I get so mad whenever I see people like him because he has hair. Pisses me off.
they posted their new patch notes.
Oh, you wouldn't like my hair,
like,
then.
you know, final patch notes for alpha before release or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, tomorrow we got content.
Cool.
Good day. I'll talk about that. Take 4 or 5 hours to make. It'll be a fairly boring video where I go over patch notes, etc. But we can't do that today. And the reason we can't do that today is because there's something way more important to talk about.
Oh,
and
looks like
that
the
is
stream is
the
still
quote,
catching up for
premium
some
currency
reason.
shop internal
Okay.
testing.
Cock ass.
Now, this was posted
Cock
on the non-disclosure.
Should I pause? Should I wait? Why does it say unstable all of a sudden? What's going on? Huh? Why does it say unstable? Give me a sec. I mean, I don't want it to be. Okay. Let's test the connection to something. What's the issue here? There shouldn't be a problem. No. That's weird. I got full speed 200 plus megabytes. Huh. Okay. Well, let's continue.
Through agreement forums, which is
So
under an NDA, which means that only people who had alpha access could see this. But of course, people immediately turned around and leaked this on all social media because it's Billy bullshit. So we might as well go over that today and talk about it.
Did he call it Billy bullshit?
Because it's Billy bullshit. So
I like how he says that with a complete straight face.
We might as well go over that today and talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I do think this is massively important. It's something that, at least for me, signifies that this is their serious run-up to launch. Because they wouldn't have launched the game any other time without a cash shop. So the fact that this is the first we're hearing about it, and this is the first they're testing it, means to me that we are looking for an August launch, and does show to me that they never had any intention of launching the game previously, at least the way that I look at it. And
that's a good point.
let's do some burning of bridges. So here we go. New World is introducing in-game purchases for special cosmetic items for players and their in-game homes. We'll sell cosmetics in the form of item skins, dyes, company crests, and emotes. So far, not so good, but...
So you can buy an emote? Like, it depends on, like, what your character can do with the emote, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have to buy spit. Like, you have to fucking... Dude, if you want to buy /dab, it's like $40.
Something we accept, right?
A dab.
Me as an MMO player that comes from playing old school MMOs, I value cosmetics in games. I value being able to, like, log on and see... You know, the guys
I want my character to look badass.
And try and get cavern gear. True. I value logging on and seeing somebody with warglaives and being like, man, that guy's a badass.
Exactly.
Log in and see someone with high tier PvP gear and going, yeah, that guy spends a lot of time in PvP. He's probably really good.
True.
I don't value logging in and seeing somebody with fucking crazy death god armor with fucking lightning coming off of it that you bought in a cash shop for 20 euros. I just don't. It doesn't appeal to me in any way. I don't like it. I tolerate it because I know that that's like what we have now. And
you tolerate it because you've been beaten down, embarrassed, disappointed, and let down, cheated, lied to, fucking just a beaten dog. It's just like what Steven said. He's a beaten dog. And like, here's what happens, right? So here's the problem with this kind of shit. So this is the character's armor. That is the actual in-game armor, okay? Okay, so that's the in-game armor. Okay, here's the fucking store armor. It's a dragon's face, and you have like teeth coming out of it, and then your feet are literal bombs, because you're the bomb. Why are you the bomb? Because you blew up $20. And then your hands, guess what your hands are? That's right, chainsaws! Wait, what? Chainsaw hands? That's right. What's up, San Diego? $35 and you can get yourself your own pair of chainsaw hands. Oh my god. Wow.
He's blown
and you know how much all this costs? It's $120. That's right. And so this is what happens with these fucking microtransaction things. Is that you have all the in-game armor that looks like trash, and then you have all the cosmetic armor on the store that looks really cool. Now, why is that? Because that's what sells. People want to buy something that looks cool, and buying these little fucking rinky-dink dog shit shoulders isn't gonna get you $50. But if you got chainsaw hands,
as long as it's not pay to win.
Oh my god.
And having a dissenting opinion on that, while valid, doesn't change shit. It's not going away. But then we get to the next part.
That's about right.
We may sell quality of life items or boosts that will help players improve their time spent leveling up their character and trade skill experience.
Like, isn't that just pay to win? Like, I mean, full stop. Isn't that just pay to win? Because, like, if you're leveling up your character and your trade skills are getting improved, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the higher level your trade skills are, the better stuff you can craft. Like, it's just like literally pay to win. Because the higher your trade skill is, And the more times that you've done certain upgrades and crafted certain items, and I don't know if it's still like this on the game now, but the way it was in the preview is that you would unlock a higher ceiling for crafting weapons and armor. So it's just like, are you kidding me? I can't believe this, man. Like, let me read this again. Like, we may sell quality of life items or boosts. I love how they say or boosts, because they're not quality. Like, yeah, because quality of life items and boosts are two different things. Quality of life is one thing, and then boosts.
They're contemplating it. Maybe they're looking to see what kind of feedback they get.
Leveling up their character and trade skill experience. Now, to make sense of this, you have to understand the company as corporate as Amazon Game Studios, saying we may do this.
It's gonna happen.
When they're announcing it to people, this has been through like 35 fucking meetings through all the higher ups, and they've decided this is the best way to present this. Not a word of this will not have been carefully deliberated on, and
that's why they have the or.
This might be in the game, it might not be. This is like, let's gauge how people react to this.
They're gauging. They're looking for reaction.
Extremely poorly received.
Oh, give me a fucking break. They have to have done focus groups. They know that people aren't going to like that.
Now, a couple big problems with this is, of course, they don't mention what is a quality of life item.
They're vague on purpose.
They simply we may sell quality of life items.
It's intentional.
Okay? Or boosts, and then they go into.
They want to see how people react. If people say nothing, then they'll do it because it's money.
Let's be real. Most MMOs nowadays have boosts. Not my favorite thing, but typically, when they have boosts, when the game's been out for a while, when the leveling experience
on release. Seriously,
if you're selling boosts when a game first launches, fuck that, bro. That's a big deal.
If they do that, I'm probably just like not gonna play the game, man.
Principle.
Like, I mean,
principle. Done deal.
And, like,
done deal.
Trade skill upgrades
out.
And shit,
next.
Just, like,
see you later.
Like,
Ashes of Creation. We're waiting on that.
That's the straight up truth. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it is, man.
It's a freaking really big deal. It is a big deal. On launch? Hell yeah, it's a big deal.
If you spend
that's a monstrous deal.
And you gain tangible advantages, this is a big deal, man.
You get to if you get to level faster.
Like, the only thing that matters
when a game
in
just
MMO
launches
is the most competitive system in the game. Like, nothing else in the MMO matters at all. The sense of world, the permanence of items, the community feel, the feel that you get whenever you get a cool item. Like, none of those things matter. The only thing that matters is like this very, very small window of competitive activity that they don't really touch that much, and somehow that's supposed to make it acceptable for them to diminish the experience for literally everybody else.
For everybody else.
It's so sad, man.
Yep.
It's so fucking sad.
And it's a big deal for a lot of other people as well. And then let's talk about trade skills within the game and skipping experience there. So if you boil this down to the base elements, if you skip experience, you're essentially selling progress, right? You could then spend that time doing other things, making more money, doing the things that matter, getting to the end game faster so you can do the things that, let's be real.
Dude, this makes me so sad because, like, I've been looking forward to this game so much. How are they?
Why don't they? So if they want to sell maybe like EXP boosts and whatnot, why don't they make it so that's locked behind? It's completely optional, but it's locked behind. Look, I'm just thinking outside the box, but I definitely don't like the idea of it being on release at all. But if they're going to do something like that, it's something they can talk about like in the future. Then why don't they make it so that, like, for example, you have to have a max level character already. Like, you have to have a max level character. You're not getting some significant advantage over players when they just start the game. People who pay, I mean, we've already seen what that does before with, what was it? Battlefront 2. Oh my gosh, that was so negatively received.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? It's just sad. You play WoW, it's the same thing? Yeah, but, like, I'm already getting fucked in the ass once. What do you want me to sign up for another one? That's the whole point. I'm already getting fucked in the ass once. Well, I gotta do it again? How many dicks do I need? It's Amazon. What do you expect?
How many dicks in the salad?
I expect a quality experience. I expect a quality, fulfilling, good gameplay experience.
Yeah.
And I don't give a
Why do we as gamers have to settle? Why are we the ones paying the price? Why are we settling just for this garbage? Like, look at what I went over earlier with Blizzard. People complained, people stood up, people said something, and they lowered the price. If we didn't say anything, that's us saying we're okay with it. So why do we don't have to. We don't. And we do that with our dollars. We just refuse. We don't buy, we don't pay. We don't buy into that. But so people are going to say, well, okay, fine, then just don't buy into it. Well, but then people who do, that's an unfair advantage, and that makes the game experience for others worse. So if it didn't affect other players in any way, I'd say, okay, sure, fine, whatever. People want to spend their money to their time, that's fine. I could understand that. I could get it, but otherwise, no.
Fuck who makes it.
And then let's talk about trade skills. This is literally selling currency, by the way. It's a base element if you boil it down. If it takes 1 million gold to reach the max level of a trade...
No, it's completely right, because you use the items to level up the currency, to level up the fucking skill. So if there's something that makes you level it up faster, you're effectively selling items.
And then you sell boosts of experience that means that you have to craft less, which then takes you 500,000. You essentially just sold 500,000 worth of currency in terms of resources saved. So
yeah, exactly.
That's a real slippery slope, because then if you look at it from the company...
Bro, it's not a slippery slope. At that point, you're off the edge. We're not, a slippery slope is we're going down. No, this is where you land. That's where you land.
It's literally going to the top of a mountain covered in snow, and you start rolling down, and it gets faster and faster and faster, except you start at max speed already. It's not even faster and faster, forget that.
Item, and it looks really cool, looks cooler than everything else, and then, now we're gonna have boosts, and, you're gonna spend real money
just transmogs. People like the way they look. Don't sell pay to win. It pisses people off. Don't do that. People can pay for... They want to look cooler. That's fine. Nobody should have a problem with that,
That's on the ground.
It's real easy for them to go, well, they didn't mind us selling currency in that way.
Exactly.
So, why don't we sell currency in another way?
Exactly.
It's called getting your foot in the door. It's a salesman tactic. You get them to agree to one thing, and then you try to fuck them as many ways as you possibly can.
That's what Blizzard just tried to do with Burning Crusade Classic. People spoke up.
Seem to not understand, and not people in general,
pissed.
but these fucking corporate bootlickers who, for some reason,
as
consumers are it doesn't matter to me at this point, so I don't care.
Exactly.
Let them devalue everything in the game until it affects me.
Yeah.
And by that point, it's way too late.
And the game sucks.
Which we'll get into in a minute. What the company looks at with stuff like that, this is... Well, the mechanics are the same, and they don't seem to mind that, and people buy it. It makes us a bunch of money. So why don't we just do it in another area?
Exactly.
And you can see this boat being pushed out in games consistently.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, Blizzard, Activision, Blizzard. This is this whole scenario under a microscope, just condensed. You can look at the beginning of WoW to now, and this is the perfect fucking example of how this happens.
Yeah.
Except it's happening faster. Yeah.
It took us fucking 5 years to get a store in WoW. They're speedrunning it. We're getting it before the release.
Yeah.
We have a game that comes out, it's beloved, pretty consumer friendly. It's a good game, it's worth the time, it's worth the money. It's a box price, a subscription price, and an expansion price. And then they're like, oh yeah, and we'll do...
Why isn't that enough? Why aren't the subs enough? I don't understand that.
Etc. etc.
Ashes of Creation wants to do no box, no pay to win, just cosmetic and sub.
People, not a huge deal when the game's further in the life.
That should be enough for a company to be successful if your game's good.
Then they get to, we're selling mounts, we're selling pets, and then they get to, we're selling currency, which for me makes World of Warcraft an odd position to talk about, because if you can buy currency in WoW, you can then legally buy pretty much every achievement in the game, every mount, every hard thing to do, buy Glad. Buy best in slot mythic gear with the mythic fucking achievements and stuff that I think
that's what happened. That's exactly he's completely right. It's so sad.
I think it does matter to people, because what happens is you just devalued what I had. I had something that was prestigious,
exactly,
and I worked really hard to get it, and then you bought it, and then you're somebody who also has this thing, but you didn't do any of the requisite work to get it.
Exactly.
And that matters to me. It might not matter to everybody, but if it doesn't matter to you, why would you be in defense of people being able to do it? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because you're just basically saying at that point, I don't care about your experience as a fellow player, as a fellow human. I'd rather just, if it doesn't inconvenience me, just fuck everybody.
Yeah, people are selfish. People think of themselves a lot.
Possibly have on
look at me. I'm happy that Blizzard made that change.
WoW
I'm happy Blizzard made the change with the money, and it doesn't affect me. For me, even if I was going to do that cloning service, that $20 is a drop in the bucket for me, because, I work and I have an income and I mean, I can afford that. It's no big deal. But, would I still be pissed about paying that? Yeah, but it affects others a lot more. And what's so wrong about thinking about other people, So I'm glad they made that change because that's better for others.
This is the main thing that WoW does, is like now, like in WoW, it's almost like if you see some other group of people in the game get fucked over, you're happy. You're happy. It's like, oh, I'm so happy that Mythic Plus players are getting fucked over, or I'm so happy.
But I get what he's saying.
I hate PvPers because I got killed on War Mode last week, and so I'm so happy they're selling gladiator mounts in the store now. It's their turn to get fucked this time. Exactly.
They push the boat out consistently. Now it's transmogs, and they will keep doing this.
They will.
What happens is, everyone who doesn't care at all these different stages,
it's boiling a lobster.
Arguably are hurting the game, because what happens is, step one, people care. True. They talk about it.
Yep.
Fanboys or people that just don't understand this concept go, why do you give a fuck? Stop crying. Just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. You hear this every time.
And
I literally am reading messages like that in chat. Like, I read that, and I can't believe. Imagine simping for Amazon. Like, if you're gonna simp for Amazon, at least sign up and make one of those fake Twitter accounts and have them pay you for talking about how much you don't like unions. Like, at least get paid for it. Don't just type it in my Twitch chat. Come on.
Who do care leave the game, or they stop caring to the stage of, just like you, they're completely apathetic
That's
to
so
the situation.
Funny. So many clowns that watch it.
Whatever, fuck it. It's on its way to death at this point.
Internet trolls.
I'll just leave it.
Just ride the train down to the bottom.
And then the next step happens. Same thing happens again. More people leave. Less people want to have a discussion about it because they know what the discussion's going to devolve into. And eventually, guys, you know what happens? It gets to something you care about.
Yep.
It gets to something you, the person going in.
And then it comes to something you care about.
They will get to a system that you care about eventually. And by the time
They'll
they
come
do,
for you.
You've already fucked yourself. You've already, all the people who would stand up with you at that stage, they already left on.
It's the old fucking thing. First they came for the, I'm not going to use the fucking, the minorities, right? Because it's a thing. And first they came for these guys, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't these guys. And then they came for those guys. I didn't speak out because I wasn't those guys. And then they came for me, and there was nobody left to speak up for me. And this is exactly what happened with WoW. It's what happened with a lot of these other games, and just the slow rot of microtransactions in the integrity.
And when we didn't speak up, nothing happened. And when we spoke up, well, sometimes things did happen. When EA was blatant about it with Battlefront 2, community rose up and they got slammed. They deserve it, and for that reason, I don't do business with them anymore because it's just principle. I can't, But we got to stand up. We got to stand up for ourselves. Gamers have a voice.
This
they
just
do.
happens over and over and over. And I will say, like, I think to some degree, if you have a free game, microtransactions are okay. To some degree, they're all right. But this is way too much, man. This is especially like pre-release.
Somebody said that's the downfall of the current MMO. It's not just MMOs. It's not just MMOs that have these things. It's not just MMOs that have these problems.
The best microtransaction system. Like overall, I think that they do. This is crazy though. And you're paying money for this game. Like PoE, you don't pay shit for that game.
Yeah, I played PoE. I played like 70 hours, and I didn't have to pay anything. And if I kept playing it more, I probably would have bought some transmogs to support them.
Because I don't care. Is not a legit defense against something. It's literally just saying it doesn't bother me. So whatever. I don't give a fuck. Even if it affects you negatively.
Exactly what I said.
If you don't care, surely you should side with the people who you are. You're a consumer.
Yeah.
You shouldn't side with a corporation who would literally not spit in your mouth if you were fucking dying of dehydration. They wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire. And yet...
Well, they would, and then they'd charge you for it afterwards.
You'll go to the lengths of going on social media and being like, why do you guys care? It's so blisteringly, ignorantly stupid. I just can't get over it. But let's not get into a massive long-winded tangent of how fucking cuckolded we are as consumers.
What are these idiots? You don't need to stop someone from buying the game. Just
systems fair and balanced for all customers, and purchases will not.
That's what I really hate about this. Is like they act like the competitive systems are the only thing in the game that matters.
Maybe it's the cynic in me.
The 1%ers.
I do not trust when a company says, based on our own subjective definition, there will be no problems with this. Because
how can you possibly not have a competitive advantage if you're talking about profession boosting and level boosting? Like that's an advantage. It's an advantage in the game. That's what I was saying. It's like the way that people want to compare themselves in the game. It's not just on this one little tiny fucking window of content. As long as the highest level of arena is competitive, then the game has integrity. No, nobody gives a shit about that to begin with. Like, nobody plays that anyway.
Another duck in the salad.
People care about the entire rest of the game.
Definition, you don't have our best interests at heart because all you care about is the money involved.
Yeah.
And it's not on you as a company to decide what is fair, what is balanced for consumers. That's for us to decide. So unless you're going to lay out exactly what you mean by this and what your definition is, give us examples. It's fucking redundant. So you see these same people pop up in social media quoting this. They quote it and go, you guys must be forgetting about this part. We're committed on keeping the competitive systems fair and balanced for all customers. Guys,
if the idea of a level boost or profession boost is even in their mind before the game release, does anybody genuinely believe that competitive content is off the table?
Have you not figured this out yet? Have you not figured this out yet? If a company comes out and tells you, oh, this isn't pay to win because this, why are you trusting what a company tells you is pay to win when they are literally the only people benefiting from these systems?
That's a really good point.
It makes no sense, guys. It makes no sense whatsoever. And we need to be talking about this. And I know it's probably not going to matter because we're, by definition, having this conversation in such a niche area of the internet that most 9-to-5ers come home from work, they've got 2 kids at home.
I disagree. Like, the thing is, if you create bad, like, negative press, especially for a new game or something like that, it absolutely matters. Like, it absolutely fucking matters.
I agree. Look what we did. Look what happened with WoW.
Like Cyberpunk.
Look what happened with WoW.
Cyberpunk's the best, like, new example,
Cyberpunk's a good example.
The game was unfinished, and people said a bunch of bad stuff about it online, and they were not satisfied with the game, and that's why people were pissed. Yeah, Bless Online, that's another one too. Like, Bless Online, same fucking thing. They still made millions? Yeah, and they made that at the expense of their integrity and the goodwill of the consumers. And next time they make a game, they're probably not going to make as much money. They're going to have way more skepticism. Just because they make money this time doesn't mean that it's a good decision. I know this might sound hard for people to understand, but you should not make business decisions based off of the next 24 hours.
Their fucking wife's cooking dinner. They come home, they play 2 hours, they don't go on a forum. They don't, they don't go on a YouTube video. They don't go on a Discord. They don't give a fuck. And they're the people who will not care about this. And they don't understand.
Well,
it's not even that they're...
You know what? That's not necessarily true. Because I'm one of those people who only typically has a couple hours a day during the school year when I'm working a lot more. And... I care. That's why I'm subscribed to people like Asmongold and many others, because I want to know. I want to be informed. And I don't get to see everything, unfortunately. But I do care, and when I see this, it matters to me. It does. So, but I get what he's saying. I do. I understand that there's a lot of people that fall into that category that don't. I know I'm kind of an outlier in that respect.
Because they're not the ones on social media defending this. They just don't know any better. And the real big thing here is, guys, the only
YouTube,
defense that I can see a consumer having is also ridiculously far-fetched and isn't how the world works. What they'll do is they'll go, when Blizzard sells that transmog in the shop for £20, I want to support that because I want the game to keep being made and I want the game to be as good as possible. Do you guys legit think Blizzard takes in extra money and goes, yeah, invest that straight back into World of Warcraft, hire some more people, get some more content out there? They don't. They've proven this time and time again, but here's some numbers for you. Blizzard monthly active users for the whole platform, Activision Blizzard platform, down 27-29%, whatever it was.
That's a new boat. What do you mean, bro? That's a new boat.
Damn. That's pretty direct.
They're out on the coast fishing.
That's pretty true. That's true.
They took your mount.
Yeah, they make enough money as it is with just their subs. They make enough money with the subs. And then people who pay for services. Oh my gosh, they make so much freaking money.
They won't make money if they don't make money on it. Yeah, the thing is, like, as I said,
I don't have a problem with these companies. Like, I don't have a problem with these companies making money. It's just it's the manner in which they do, and also, like, you know, the BS. Look at the backpedaling they had to do in that post, you know, from about the reduction in the price for the cloning service. Like, come on, you know, like, come on, seriously, like, everyone knows that was greedy as hell. I'm surprised, honestly, I'm surprised they didn't reduce the price of other things, like the deluxe edition. It still seems ridiculous, you know, but what the hell do I know?
I will accept some small things, because I think that, yeah, if you want to continuously develop a game...
And let's just be clear, Blizzard is not the only greed. Their greed is a huge problem in this country to begin with. It's a huge problem. Like, specifically in the United States, it's a massive problem. It's kind of an inherent flaw that many just human beings have, and we see it around us. We see people succeeding, and we're like, oh, I want a piece of the pie too. I want a piece too, you know, but, you know, where's the integrity? Where's the principle? You know, and, you know, Blizzard didn't start it. Blizzard didn't start it. They didn't do it initially. Like, a lot of other companies were doing it. They started it, and then they saw the success of mobile games, and then that's it. They all wanted a piece of the pie, you know?
Yeah, sure. Like, if you want to buy expansions or something like that, it's fine. It's not about that. It's about what's being sold. It's not that there's something being sold. It's not a big deal. But, like, it's what it is.
Profits up 7% though. Don't care. They don't give a fuck. They can lose 30% of users, up their profits by 7%. That is good. That's good business. They're not taking that money and reinvesting it in development teams, customer support teams.
Yeah.
Year after
year. It would be obvious in the feedback that we give them. It would be obvious.
Year after year. Massive layoffs. They don't care. Patch cycles getting long.
Oof, layoffs. Big ones in Activision last year. Oh, and then Bobby Kotick gets all this money, and then he takes a 50% salary cut, yet who cares? Did you see how much money he got in bonuses? The guy can literally quit right now, and he could live the rest of his life easy. Easy. His kids, their kids.
Longer. Yeah. Expansions being rushed out with less content. Half-baked ideas and systems. Removing content that we've had for 15 years, and then people cheering when they give it us back. It's ridiculous, guys. There is no benefit to you supporting this. And at this point in the video, you're probably going to go, whoa, why have you just been talking about Blizzard for 6 or 7 minutes when we're talking about Amazon Game Studios and New World?
Because it's a case study.
It's the direct one-to-one correlation.
Yeah, it's a case study.
What happens is the business cycle, company starts small, really beloved, does a lot of good consumer things, everyone really loves them.
Yeah, except that clearly they're not doing that.
Yeah. They get too big. They sell to a bigger corporation. The trickle-down starts happening. Or they go public. They become a publicly traded company, and it's all about that share price. It's all about that bottom line.
Yep.
And then they get to that stage, and then the company, obviously, everything starts going worse and worse and worse. And then you begin the cycle anew with a new company, and it happens consistently. You can look at, like, CD Projekt Red for a perfect example, or Blizzard, as we were just going over. And the whole point of that, to explain all those mechanisms at play, is that Amazon is Amazon. They're not starting at the beginning point where we're going to have 8, 9, 10 years of a game where you're like, yeah, everything's going good. There's a couple problems here and there with the monetization's getting a little tiny bit worse. They're starting way beyond even Activision Blizzard. So the fact that before the game's even launched, they're already talking about quality of life, fucking buffs, things that don't even tangibly have an explanation from their perspective, let alone even our perspective as consumers who we're not even ever going to see eye to eye on this because they're two opposite viewpoints. This is why we're talking about Blizzard, because it's the perfect example of what this game...
Because it's literally what happened. Yeah, that's why, because that's literally
what happened, and Amazon wants to scale it up much faster. They just want to start, they want to jump right in.
Economics debate.
And
okay, like there are plenty of companies that don't do stuff like this.
Gosh.
Like I don't know why it's so hard for people to just make some money. Like why do you don't have to always make all of the money? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, where is
it's not even all that. You know what? I would disagree with that, because you know what? They're not going to make all the money. They're not. This is going to drive customers away. Gamers are sick of this. They're not going to. Yes, sure. Some people will play. Some people will pay. But in the end, they would get more if they did less. That's just my opinion. They would get more. Like, I'm not going to play if it goes like that. I'm not even going to try it. Forget it.
There's no pride about this. Like, you want people to. It's just so sad, man. It's just so fucking sad. Pride doesn't sell. It did. It did sell. Pride used to sell. And it still does.
It's already going to look like in a couple years.
Yeah.
They're not stopping here, guys. This is not like, oh, this is the end game of it. This
Exactly.
is the beginning. This is the first step, and there will be a second and a third and a fourth, and the boat will get pushed out inch by inch by inch by inch until you can't even see that motherfucker from the shore. And this is how these games go. And if you let them do it now, if you don't stand up to it now, what are you going to have in 4 or 5 years? So if you care about the longevity of this game, if you care about the longevity of this genre, this industry, this is a conversation you need to be having, and this is the pushback you need to have. But what can I really say? You're getting off to a really, really bad start with this, and
it's such a disappointment.
Did we expect any different?
It's so sad,
just,
man.
You know, I knew we was going to have this conversation at some point, because they'd not talked about the cash shop in such a long time, and we didn't know what was going to be in it. But yeah, I'm just sick of the discourse online about things like this, where people, the arguments from people like me and people who care about the game and care about the genre and the.
Okay, you know, I think that's enough on this. I think we got the point, and you know, it's very sad. It's upsetting. It's disturbing in some ways, and I mean, Jesus, like, ugh. Well, you know what? One less game for me to worry about, honestly. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it and whatnot, but if you're thinking about playing this game, I think that you should really consider what that entails. We'll see what it looks like. You know, I mean, they're testing the waters clearly, but if things go like that, I'm gonna bow out, and that's just based on principle. And I think that anyone who watches this should strongly consider that, just because it's just not worth it. Why are we supporting these projects? Why are we supporting these business practices? You know, and if we continue to do that, then they're just going to keep doing it. You know, I mean, you know, at least, you know, I don't know. I'm not okay with it. I live by principles, and I can't do that. You know. But okay, well, you know, we covered that. We covered the Blizzard cloning service price change. This was a good. I started with the good, went on to the not so good. You know, so this is great for people who want to use the service. And you know, just reiterating again, I'm happy for anyone who wanted to use this, who wants to use the service. I don't have any classic characters. I won't be, but this is good. This is a good thing. I'm glad that the community matters. I'm glad that we can speak up and we can be heard. It would be really, really frustrating if we didn't. And you know, I'm glad. I hope that that people feel a little better about it. You know, I think like $10 probably would have been more appropriate, but 15, you know, close enough, right? Got to pick your battles. I also wish that they lowered some of those prices for the Dark Portal Pass, whatnot. Maybe like $25 on the deluxe, maybe like $45, $50, I don't know. But, you know, I'm just going to do a Dark Portal just because my friends and I talked about it, and I don't really want to level a classic character up. It takes a long, long time, and, you know, I want to play TBC, so I'm going to be doing that starting next week, and I hope that some of you will join me, you know, and I'll be doing that every day. And probably during the day at times, starting Tuesday. So I'm gonna try to set up a schedule now that it's gonna be the summer. I'm gonna set aside some time during the day and some time at night to work on that, so that when people come, they can see my schedule. You know, because right now I don't have much of that. What's funny? Hey, what's funny? Did I say something? I'm gonna try to set up a schedule that, like a more consistent schedule. It's just been hard during the school year, you know, taking my daughter to school, picking her up, taking her to camp, my son, let's see, doing school from home and my courses and whatnot. So I should be able to create a more consistent like streaming schedule and playtime schedule where I can actually play a little more during the summer, at least during the summer, take advantage. Why not? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that, but those are mine, and it's just an opinion. You know, you don't have to agree. You can disagree, but honor, auction house, anything, any other big news, patch. Okay. Okay, the pre-patch scheduled maintenance starting at 1 Central. That's 11 here for me. Oh, the price of the transfer. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it's a good thing, right? That's a big that's a big change. That's a big change and a necessary one. I'm glad that they did. It's just, again, you know, I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but God, why do they have to keep getting this wrong to get it right? That's the thing that it still upsets me. But, you know, what the hell do I know? Okay, well, I'm going to end the stream now. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.